Assalamu everyone. Today we will be analyzing the game played between national master Raees Ansari and Salman Ali Khan. So, national master Raees Ansari is a well-known chess personality in Pakistan. He's given a tough time to very uh, big names such as Mr. Mahmood Lodhi, Mr. Wakar, and a lot of other Pakistani national masters. He's a name we see a lot of the times on the top boards of the tournaments. So, Mr. Salman Ali Khan is a rising, I could say, Pakistani chess player. He's gotten very nice positions in tournaments. Even today, I think there was a tournament held in Islamabad where he came first. So it just goes to show that he can dominate tournaments when he wants to. And the very fact that he's playing in the Pakistani nationals serves as a testament to his strength. Even I think, a few months ago, he participated in the FIDE Online Olympiad, so he is a very strong player. So, without much further ado, we'll begin analyzing the game. Mr. Ansari had the white pieces and began with the move e4. Mr. Salman replied with c5 as he usually does. We have knight f3, d6, d4, c captures d4, knight captures d4, knight f6, knight c3, and a6. So with the move a6, we enter into the Najdov variation of the Sicilian defense. The main idea is to create a counter-attacking imbalance in the opening. So black's 5a6 aims to deny the light squared bishop the b5 square, as well as stopping any and all plans of knight b5. Black maintains flexible development here, keeps his plans unknown, and it's overall a very nice move. If black plays, let's say, e5 instead of a6, then the following happens. We have bishop b5, bishop d7, bishop captures d7, knight captures d7, and knight f5. With the knight on f5, it's a very strong piece, and any attempts of, let's say, mindlessly pushing it away from the square with g6 are obviously met with knight captures on d6, which you aim to do as white. So instead, after a6, we have bishop e2. Bishop e2, I'd say, a quite positional move. We won't be seeing any opposite side castles and pawn storms yet. So after bishop e2, we have the move e5, not e6, not the Sveshnigan variation, the classical variation of the Sveshnigan, but e5, which is mainline Najdov. So knight goes to b3, bishop e7, and bishop e3. Over here, I guess white could have played, if he wanted for it to go for attacking game. He could have played g4, and after h6, we'd have this sort of a game with the bishops going here, queen going here, and opposite side castles. And black would just start pushing up all his pawns, and we'd see some exciting chess. But alas, this did not happen, and we have, after bishop e3, we have bishop e6, both sides castle, pretty much standard stuff, and f3. A better move could have been f4, I guess, with e captures f4, bishop captures f4, knight c6, king h1, and the immediate d5, which is the main pawn push of the position, and we'd enter into a position where I'd think white is not better, but he enjoys a more comfortable position, I'd say. So instead, after f3, we have knight bd7. If white had played a5, you'd usually go knight c6, taking control over this weak b4 square. But alas, this does not happen. So immediately after knight bd7, white now goes for the move a4, which is a pretty much a standard idea in the Najdov. Seeing as black has undermined the b6 square, you want to push a5, stopping both the a and b pawn and hindering development. So we have rook c8 and queen d2. In my opinion, the A5 plan which we just discussed would have been better, but Queen D2 does connect rooks and it has its own ideas. So Black replies with Queen C7, eyeing the semi-open C file, uh, Rook FD1, and Knight B6, a very nice move. Uh, Looking at this pawn and controlling the very important D5 pawn push, which White would want to go into. So we have King H1, a bit of a slow move given the sharp nature of the position. Better would have been to continue then again with the A5 plan. And Black replies very nicely, taking initiative with Rook FD1. Now he has he can play D5 whenever he wants to, and overall aligning the Rook with the Queen is a very nice idea. So we now have A5, but now A5 doesn't work because of the move Knight C4. Black will have to part ways with one of his bishops, so he tries for a tactical trick over here, which obviously won't work on a player of his Salman's caliber. So we have knight captures c4 and queen captures c4. Important to note, bishop captures c4 does lose in fact to bishop b6. So after captures c4, we have queen f2 preparing bishop b6, which would then be a thorn in black structure. But over here, a very well timed pawn break with d5. Now, what d5 does is that d5 one activates this light squared bishop, which is pretty much inactive throughout this game, and also opens this very strong d file, which over which black has nice control. So we have knight d2, trying to get some tempos in, maybe saying that after this, um, even this, some trades over here. Black has nothing much, but okay. Um, so we have queen c6, further aiding this pawn, as we said, which was very important, this square. And e captures d5, knight captures d5, knight captures d5, bishop captures d5, and bishop b6. Over here we have rook e8, and very nice move, rook ac1, preparing the c4 pawn push. We have queen e6. Uh, then again, trying to take control over the square, but over here I think there was a very interesting line which black missed, which was queen h6. We'd allow c4, bishop goes back to c6, bishop e3, and over here bishop h4 even. So what's the idea? So if say bishop captures h6, we'd have bishop captures f2, and after g5 and h6, I'd say this bishop we could pretty much count it out of the game because he has uh, pretty much no squares to go to, and after this we'll even be pushing not even this, I guess. Oh, so I think is the piece lost? I believe it is. Okay, I don't want to analyze too much in this would-be situation. So we'll go back to queen e6, which was played, and c3, another slow move by white. We have rook c6, preparing to double uh, on the c file, and rook e1, asking black what he would like to do with this weakness over here. So instead of rook e1, I believe even c4 right now could have been played. So bishop captures c4, knight captures c4, rook captures c4, sorry. And now knight captures c4, queen captures c4, queen captures c4, queen d2, and after bishop f8, where's bishop f8? Yes, bishop f8. I believe both sides are doing pretty much equally, and white is still in the game, and black has a pretty small edge, which he'd find it very difficult to convert as queens. As white's queen comes here, his queen comes here, and okay, it's a game. So after rook e1, we have queen f6, c4, bishop goes back, queen e3, and a very nice move, bishop b4. We have b3, stopping all ideas of taking this pawn. Bishop goes to f6. Very nice play of the bishops by Salman, as his bishops now eye into the enemy's uh, army. So we have rook e d1, queen h4, a very attacking move, and rook f and knight f1, and it's never a good idea when your pieces start coming back to the first rank. It's never a good sign. So we have knight d6. We have sorry, bishop d6. With ideas of playing this move at in certain lines, and uh, making use of the fact that this queen is behind this rook over here. But it is a double-edged sword. We could also argue that this rook is behind this queen because black still has some back rank issues. So we have knight g3, trying to activate the knight. Bishop goes back. Obviously, you don't want to trade the bishop pair in such a nice position. And c5, a very committing move, I believe, because it does block off black's bishop over here for the rest of the game, and he'd have to wait for the end game to get any have any hope of getting this out. And this pawn over here is as if black doesn't even have this pawn right now. So um, have bishop goes back to b8 and knight f1, which is, I believe, to be a mistake. Better would have been, which he probably missed, Mr. Ansari, because of, I'll tell you why. Better would have been knight f4, knight e4, f5, and knight d6. Now it might appear that after taking over here, this would be weak, but no, actually white is doing very well in this position. But okay, this wasn't played. Instead, we had after knight f1, immediately taking advantage and finding the best move in the position, e4. Very nice move. So what's happening here? Obviously he can't take right now. But if white's the one who takes, then he'll obviously be lost after this. Uh, Rook comes over here and joins in on the attack. This bishop, along with this rook and queen, will be too much for black to bear and white to bear, and he'll be mated in the next few moves. So we have g3 trying to get the queen out of the way, and we have queen e7. Over here, instead of queen e7, better would have been, I believe, queen h3. After which we'd have knight king g1, rook e6, f4 even, not taking obviously, and after bishop h5, knight d2, and bishop f3. I believe white is doing very well over, black is doing very well over here. Obviously not white. And white would have very concrete problems in his structure with this knight over here. This bishop eyeing the king side from afar as a sniper, and these double rooks on the e file would be extremely problematic for white. But he goes back after he goes back to queen e7. We have rook c4 trying to go after this weak pawn over here, which isn't really weak. It's a very poisonous pawn. White can never really take it. So we have h6 even, and a very h6 and c d4, rook c d4. Over here we have a bit of a dubious move, bishop f5, which obviously aims to go over here, but I believe Mr. Salman missed these ideas of g4 uh, and even f4 even, and although it does look a bit weird, it does look as though it's weakening the structure, but why white is doing considerably okay, I'd say, over here. But okay, so we have rook c8 trying to trade off as many pieces as possible, trying to enter into an endgame. So we have rook capture c8 only, matlab, forced rook capture c8, Rook e1, queen f6, f captures e4 finally, which is okay, I guess. And over here, wait, no, wait, it wasn't okay. It isn't okay at all because I'd say after f captures e4, this move is very nice because um, it it really does ask White about this queen over here, why he has put his queen over here. So we have knight d2, bishop h3, queen's knight h4, the bishop goes back to d7, uh, knight goes back to d2. So it's pretty much clear that White is having trouble playing this position. So knight c6, bishop c6, king g1, getting out of this diagonal, bishop e5, and bishop knight f3, and bishop c3. And over here, although White is doing very badly and Black is the one in charge, I believe this is the final nail in the coffin. As they say, tactics flow from a superior position, and this tactic did flow out. So we have knight e2. Now the problem with this move, I'd like you guys to find it, and okay, if you want to enjoy the show, as my very good mentor Agenmator says, we have rook captures e4, queen d3, and a very simple tactic after which White resigned the game as he is down a piece and there's nothing more to be done. So yeah, this was the game. Mr. Raees Ansari lost and Salman Ali Khan went on to have a very nice tournament. He didn't gain the title of National Master for whatever reason, but yeah, I believe he is aiming for that next. And overall, this was a very nice game. Thank you and goodbye.